My name is Nick Middleton. I live in Middle England in the mid-latitudes. I'm middle-aged, earning a middling salary, writing travel books and teaching geography at Oxford University. My life is extremely comfortable, or at least it was. Till one mild summer's day when I was thinking about the English obsession with weather. I had an idea for a book. We complain ceaselessly about our temperate climate. But what must it be like to live with real extremes? What was life like in the hottest, coldest, wettest and driest inhabited places on Earth? I put this question to my publisher, and to my horror, she said go and find out. In my mind's eye, the hottest inhabited place in the world had always been surrounded by sand, somewhere in the Middle East or the Sahara. And it's true, these places have had days that have got them into the record books. But for real heat all year round, I was heading for the northeastern tip of Ethiopia. For somewhere, lost in the furnace that is the Danakil Depression, lies Dalol, the hottest place on Earth. Every summer's day in the Danakil, the temperature tops 40 degrees Celsius. Only one group of people have managed to survive here, and as a child I'd read about the almost legendary toughness of the Afar. At last, I was going to see for myself how they have adapted to life in this hellhole. But I confess I was nervous. Few outsiders have ever visited the area, and the Afar have a fierce reputation. Yet without their help, I'd never make it to Dalol. I thought it best to break myself into the world of desert survival gently. So I was starting my journey 15 degrees north of the Danakil. I'd come to Siwa, an oasis town in the middle of the Sahara Desert that's the starting point for expeditions into the Great Sand Sea. I was here to meet Mohammed Fayez, a man with 10 years expedition experience. And with one look at my suburban physique, he decided to throw me in at the deep end.
You just need to, take out all of this kind of poison from the modern cities.
Right.
And come back to nature, to zero, and start again.
So how long does it go on for?
The first 20 minutes is the horrible thing.
Horrible thing.
Yeah, and you still have another 1 hour for middle horror, or middle horrible.
Hang on, horrible thing and then middle horror.
Yeah. And after that you'll be okay, more than okay, you'll be just ready for everything.
Mohammed was taking me for a crash course in heat acclimatization at the surgery of his doctor, a few kilometers into the desert.
You will keep remembering me all of your life. For that.
Oh, thanks, Mohammed. Yeah, that's an interesting prospect. Yeah. I'm sure I will. For 25 years, Dr. Abu El-Qassam has been harnessing heat for therapy.
He's now saying like you won't be staying more than 15 minutes inside the hall.
It's just the 15 minutes. Despite Mohammed's warning that the first 20 minutes was horrible, this man seemed to be doing okay. Are you enjoying it, sir?
والترجم يا محمد فايز.
مبسوط انت من الموضوع ده؟
يس نقول له مبسوط بيكم.
She's very happy to see you doing it.
Yeah.
إنما من الرملة لا.
But from the sand he doesn't like it. He's waiting for you to do it.
Yeah, okay, right. Step into my grave. Dr. Kassam's patients claim relief from ailments as varied as arthritis and high blood pressure. The first of his 3 heat treatments is meant to bring on an intense bout of sweating. The toxin-laden fluids soak away into the sand, leaving your body purified. It's like a return to childhood being buried on the beach. More sand. Now, is this the point at which you pour honey on my face and get the marching ants out from your pocket? Yeah. The midday sun took care of my paranoia, and the heat started to have an almost magical effect.
Nick, are you still here?
Yeah. Yeah, I can feel my fingers pulsing.
Try to move it.
No, I can't move my fingers at all. After 15 minutes, it was time for treatment number 2. An hour and a half in a stifling tent wrapped in a coarse blanket. Then, still barely conscious, I was carted off for treatment number 3, about which Mohammed had told me nothing. Of the 3 processes that I've been through, and I feel as if I've been through it today, massage was the worst because it involved some significant pain. And, well, I feel as if I've been initiated, but I have a feeling it's sort of, well, it's as much a sort of mental thing as a physical thing. Mohammed, explain to me just how this is preparing me for anything natural, because it seems profoundly unnatural to me.
They're just like trying to make you more fit for the job.
More fit?
Yeah.
Assuming I survive, eh?
Yeah. No pain, no gain.
Oh.
The following day, Mohammed started to insinuate that my desert legs weren't up to it. To prove his point, he was taking me to meet some Bedouin, real desert people.
People of the desert in the summer doesn't move.
They don't move at all during summer.
They just find the location of water and just settle. Those people are very adapted to heat.
Yeah, right.
And you want to go to this depression in the summer. I think you're crazy, my friend.
This is my mission. To find out what it's like in the hottest place on earth.
You're very brave, man.
Thank you.
But I doubt you're gonna make it.
Mohammed's skepticism had planted the first seeds of doubt in my head. If the Bedouin, the big boys of the desert, just find water and stay put during the summer, how on earth was I going to get to the heart of the Danakil Depression?
Alhamdulillah.
Nick,
Salam alaikum.
Alhamdulillah.
اسمك ايه من الحق؟
اسمي ناصر.
His name is Nasser.
Nasser.
ناصر.
Nasser explained that he and his family would be here for 5 months, after which they'd begin their 600-kilometre wander to the coast and back, returning here or somewhere like it next summer.
So this guy is wearing how much clothes now in this heat, and you can't be a
Yeah, I know,
Steven
that's
Shirt,
right.
me and you.
Yes,
And
exactly.
you can just cope with it, no problem.
Are you chilly, Nasser?
And hasn't
Are you
حران? hasn't بردان?
شيء الحر.
He said this is for the heat.
Okay, right. Nasser's thick vest was one thing, but the man tending the goats appeared to be wearing a greatcoat. These guys could certainly handle the heat. And to further undermine my confidence, Mohammed started grilling me about my knowledge of desert survival.
Do you know anything about the stars?
Not a great deal, Mohammed, I have to say.
So you don't know how to locate yourself by the stars?
No.
Anything about the sun? How to use the matches to locate yourself with the sun?
No?
No.
No.
So why don't you just do me a favor and go home?
It was back to basics. If the surface of your brain heats by just 2 degrees, the cells will start to cook. Always keep your head covered. If you're lost in the desert, you don't need a compass. You can just use the shadow cast by a match to work out which way is north.
in the middle of
And
the sky.
even if you're out of water, all is not necessarily lost.
In case you are totally desperate.
Dormant
and there's no
snails
water,
found in the earth surrounding dried up waterholes could throw you a lifeline.
Each one can give you 1 day or 1 day and a half without water.
Oh, really?
So you can
Gosh.
carry. Yeah, you think it's,
That's amazing,
it's fun.
isn't it? Yeah.
No, it's not
well,
fun.
no, I'm sure it's not
Smell
fun.
it and you know it's not fun. It's terrible.
Oh, God.
Yeah. No, you just destroyed it.
Shit. Sorry.
Shit.
Ah, okay. So it's just like that, right?
Yeah, keep on sucking it.
Suck.
Yeah,
rather
I
than eat.
will enjoy that. No, put it inside your mouth and keep on sucking it.
Oh, shit.
The lesson continued in NASA's tent, and I realised that desert survival is often a counterintuitive game. Don't pitch your tent near water, that's where the snakes hang out. Always take a blanket as well as a water bottle, because in deserts more people die of hypothermia than from dehydration. By the end of the afternoon, the main thing I'd learnt was how little I knew. The next day I flew south, bound for Dalol, the hottest place on Earth, and I didn't even know where it was. In England, 3 different maps had put it in 3 different places. To find it, my best chance was to consult with the FR. In the bustling city of Addis Ababa, capital of Ethiopia, I spent 2 days trying to find out more about the Afar. The only texts I could find were 2 written in the 30s. Both concurred that they were a bloodthirsty tribe who had a particular hatred for foreigners.
Reading Nesbit and Thesiger, and the only thing they disagree on is what the Afar do with your balls after they chop them off. I mean, Nesbit says they hang them around their neck as an ornamentation, and Thesiger says they just parade them through town and then chuck them away. But neither's particularly comforting.
Next morning, after a sleepless night, I left the cool Ethiopian highlands with my driver, Faka, and headed for the desert. We drove west, and in 5 hours we dropped 2,000 meters, and the temperature rose from a balmy 22 to 38 degrees Celsius, 100 degrees Fahrenheit.
It was like coming down into a great boiling cauldron down here. It would have been nice to go straight back to Addis.
I had arrived in the southern tip of the Danakil Desert. I was 1.5 days from Addis Ababa, and we were skirting the southern edge of the Danakil Desert. The heat was overpowering, but there weren't the searing blue skies of the Sahara, just an oppressive, dust-laden haze that seemed to make it difficult to breathe. On my way to the hottest town on Earth, Dalol, to the north of the desert, I was stopping off at Elidar to get some advice on how to deal with the Afar. Everyone I'd spoken to so far said that the fearsome warriors of this nomadic tribe should be approached with caution, so it was with some trepidation that I arrived at this tiny settlement in a field of rocks. I'd come here to meet 2 Afar experts. Ismail Ali Gard and his wife Valerie from Australia run an Afar Development Association and have spent the last 10 years working with the tribe throughout the Danakil.